friends, welcome back. Welcome back to another spoiler-free 3-minute thriller review. Today we're going to be talking about Winter Counts. Now, before I tell you about my thoughts on this book, let's first talk about what this book is about. So basically it follows this man named Virgil Wounded Horse, who is essentially a self-proclaimed vigilante on a Native American reservation. And the story really takes off when Virgil learns about this man who is potentially bringing heroin and drugs onto the reservation. And for one reason or another, Virgil takes this very personally and basically makes it his mission to go and bring down this guy and bring him to justice. So now let's talk about my opinion of this book. So I have to say, first of all, this is just my personal opinion based on my own personal experience reading this book, and judging by the GoodReads ratings for this book, it seems like most people have a very different opinion than I do. However, I did not like it. In fact, I thought the book was not well written. I thought it was just not a well executed book at all, and to be honest, this is my lowest rated thriller of the year. I ended up giving this book only 1 star. But before I get too much to just trashing on this book, I just want to say there are a few things I did like about it. I thought the concept was interesting. I also thought that it was really interesting that the author incorporated a lot of Native American culture and kind of what it's like living on a reservation in America today. I thought that was really good, and I think it was a good balance between incorporating the negative things of living on a reservation without it being so sensationalized and just focused on that. It was a good balance between the positive and negative, and it felt like a realistic view of living on a reservation. So I thought that was good. However, when it comes to the actual writing and the quality of the story, I don't think it was good. And let me talk about the reasons why I thought that. Number one, I thought the writing, I think the best way to describe it was just very amateurish. It feels like the kind of book that would be turned in as a final project for like a college creative writing class. That's kind of the vibe I got from this book. You know how they say you should show, not tell when you're writing? I felt like this was way too much show and not enough tell. On top of that, I thought the characters were all very one-dimensional and boring. I thought the relationships between the characters were boring. I thought the plot, it started out interesting with an interesting concept, but it quickly turned into a very cheesy, like soap opera, kind of like Wild West movie, not in a good way. It just felt very cliche, I guess, is the best way to put it. I think the first 80% of this book was not a thriller whatsoever. It was kind of slow and boring. I think the last 20% we did kind of get some thriller territory and some action, but as I said, the action was not enough to redeem it because all of it was very cliche and just boring. Like, I don't even know how else to say it. Like, and then on top of all of that, I think the tone of the book just felt very weird to me. Like, it was way too casual of a writing tone compared to what the story was and what the content was talking about. And I think having a calculated juxtaposition of having a different kind of tone where it doesn't quite match the content in the story, I think that can be done well. However, I think that is kind of a fine line and takes a very skilled writer to be able to pull that off. And I don't think it was done well in this book. And then on top of that, I think the audiobook was not good either. And that's it. Bye, guys.